In 1972, the first commercial video game was created, and it was called Pong. Pong was a two-player game developed by a man named Alan Alcorn. This invention was a huge hit and sparked the boom of video games. Later that year, the Magnavox Odyssey was created and sold over 69,000 units. Later that decade, in 1978, Magnavox created a new console that they called, you guessed it, the Magnavox Odyssey 2, and this sold 2 million units, which is 1,931,000 more than their previous console. 5 years later, other companies decided to dive into the video game industry, with Nintendo releasing the 8-bit Nintendo Entertainment System in 1983, and Sega with the 8-bit Master System in 1985. And also with the Master System 2 in 87.
87?
But they weren't done yet, because 2 years later, Sega created the 16-bit Genesis with high performance and great graphics. That same year, Nintendo shocked the world with the first handheld console, the Game Boy. With its 4-color display, the Game Boy could play many 8-bit titles with ease and incredible graphics. But it wasn't long before Sega made a handheld of their own. The Sega Game Gear was more powerful and had a better screen. It was 16-bit.
Damn, boy, he's thick!
But with all that performance, it came with a cost. The Game Gear's battery life was just short of 2 hours, and many gamers would have to replace their batteries every gaming session. During that same year, in 1990, Nintendo did the expected. They created a new, powerful 16-bit console that they called the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. The console had a wide variety of games, such as Super Mario World, Donkey Kong Country, and many others, some even being 3D, like Star Fox and Mario Kart. A year later, in 1991, Sega created an attachment to the Genesis that they called the Sega CD. Back in those days, CDs were fast and had plenty of storage, getting many PC titles ported over to the new CD attachment, such as the popular game Doom. Sadly, the concept failed, so Sega made a new console they called the Wonder Mega in 1992, which also failed. In 1994, Sega kept spewing out console after console, such as the Genesis 2, the CDX, and the Sega 32X. That same year, we had a new video game console competitor, Sony. Sony created the powerful 32-bit PlayStation, or the PlayStation X in Japan, that dominated the market. The PlayStation was a huge success, selling over 102 million units. In 1995, Nintendo finally released their next-generation 32-bit 3D virtual reality headset, the Virtual Boy. Sega, though, did release a new 32-bit console called the Sega Saturn, and that was a bit of a success for Sega due to it not getting as much hate as the other consoles they had released. The next year, in 1996, Nintendo released the Nintendo 64, a 64-bit console that was okay, but it still used cartridges, which were slower than CDs that its competitors were using. A wide variety of games were created for the console, such as Super Mario 64, a beloved classic among retro gamers. In 1998, we got Sega's final console, the Dreamcast, a 64-bit full 3D console with astonishing graphics, even for today's standards. That same year, we got a new console from Nintendo, the Game Boy Color, a Game Boy with a full-color display that plays Game Boy and Game Boy Color games. Finally, in 2000, we get the PlayStation 2, a 64-bit, very powerful console that had graphics superior to all other consoles thus far. This console also suffered of mod chipping so that people could play burned CDs on their consoles, but that's a story for another day.